why do I keep relaxing my hair? People make assumptions about you based on your hair. This is part of the family story too. The traits that you have, they come from somewhere. I can't hate things about myself and love it in them and ignore where it all came from. Like you can't do that. I'm Danielle Romero, and here on my channel we talk about American identity, hidden history, and all of that. And you may not recognize me today because I have had my hair relaxed and I'm letting it wear off. It's still not all the way worn off, but I want to tell you a little story today about hair journeys. And even if you don't have hair or your hair has never been an issue for you, stick around because I think there is something here for everybody. But first, I want to tell you a story from when I was 6 years old. When I was 6 years old, I was growing up in New York, and I would go to gymnastics class in the late afternoons once a week. And I remember so little about my childhood. Like, I don't know what my problem was. I literally don't remember anything. But I remember this. I remember sitting in my room in front of my like dresser, and there was a mirror, and I had a really fine tooth comb, and it was like the kind that has like a sharp point on the end for, you know, making parts. And it had a spray bottle of water and 8 million hair clips. And I would, about like an hour and a half before class, I would have to go in there and I would be like pulling my hair as tight as I could and like doing these like trying to pull it up, pull it out, and placing clips to hold it down. And I wanted my hair to look sleek like the other girls in my class. They all had the kind of hair where you just like kind of pull it up and it's like tight and shiny and straight, and it's all like, it was just like very easy. And my hair wasn't like that. And my mom did the best that she could with it. But I remember that fine tooth comb was like the bane of my existence. And so the first time that I found that you could straighten your hair, I was in ninth grade. My best friend, who had straight hair, which was super weird at the time, she had gotten like a Revlon flat iron, and she flat ironed my hair for me when I slept over one day. And I can't even tell you, like, okay, first it looked raggedy, like we were in ninth grade, but it was straight for all intents and purposes. And so I remember going to school and just being like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe it. My hands are getting stuck when I put my hands in my hair. And it was just, I don't know, it just felt so freeing. And it felt so easy. And I was hooked. And then I suddenly thought, I don't want my hair to never, I want it to be straight forever. What can I do? And so as I got older, I remember researching like my first year in college that you could get your hair permanently straightened. It could be relaxed. And so I went that route. What I did was called thermal reconditioning. It was a thing that I believe Korean salons were like exclusively doing it at the time. So I would drive into New York City, go to a Korean salon, and they literally did not speak English. Like they did not speak English. But I mean, if you walk into that salon and you're like, hey, like here, like we figured it out. Um, and then I would also drive into New Jersey to a Korean salon there. And I was just so pleased with the results because it was permanent. But hair grows. So what would happen is you would have straight hair, but then here starts coming up. It starts coming up and growing, and it looks cute at first, and then you've got like a weird puff runway here. And so what I ended up doing was just getting the roots done over and over again. And it was super expensive and it's dangerous. It's formaldehyde. So the other thing that I ended up doing was researching how do you grow out relaxed hair. I'm just like flying by the seat of my pants. And I saw that girls would do something called a big chop, which is basically, well, you probably already know this, but I didn't. And growing it out as much as you can natural until it's as long as you can deal with. If it's, you know, it's going to be short, then cut the relaxed part, damaged part off, and start growing it back out again. I did that a bunch of times. I would do that, then I would go back to having it relaxed. It was just kind of like this. And so that was kind of my whole experience. I always felt like having curly hair, um, I don't know, I felt like kind of an imposter walking around with my hair straight. I still do. I feel like if I meet someone and my hair is straight, I have to let them know, like, just so you know, this is not what I really look like, or like, this is not real. Like, it's a weird thing. And, you know, so when I was out of college and, you know, I had my first professional jobs, I really wanted to be seen as a professional. And I did not feel like I would be taken seriously with this hair. And again, this hair still has relaxer in it. I will tell you about that in a second, but it gets bigger than this. And I felt like I wasn't taken seriously. I don't know. This may have been all in my head. So I don't know if you've had this experience, but this has been kind of a struggle for me. My entire life is just thinking if I had a genie ask me 3 wishes, one of them would definitely be for different hair. Now, I'm almost 38 years old. I'm still struggling with this. It's been, more than 30 years. And so I have been getting keratin relaxing treatments, and those are supposed to be less bad for you, but they're also not permanent. They wash out as you're washing your hair. So I got one done around Thanksgiving, and I noticed that it's basically washed out because you can see it's like the texture's coming back and it's different. And I just been thinking about what to do. And so that leads me to what happened last week. And last week was my Grammy's birthday. Now she has been passed for 2 years now. And so I can't call her. So I decided to look at some pictures. And my Grammy has always kept her hair short. And she actually used to run she owned hair salons, but she has always kept her hair short. And she would always kind of wear it in curlers. And let me tell you, as a kid, like we'd be going to the grocery store. She would just have her head in like full curlers. She didn't care. All that to say is that I was looking at family pictures and I saw a picture that I've seen a lot. It's not a new picture. But I'm seeing it in a new way now. And it was of her mom, Lola. And it's a picture where Lola's probably my age in it. And she's got on like a cute little hat. But I noticed that she had curly hair. And I don't know, it like did something to me to see that. Um, I just wonder why do I keep relaxing my hair? And I feel like this is relevant to a family history channel, to American Identity channel, because hair is such a huge part of identity. I don't know what it is about hair, but hair is just, it's a big deal. And people make assumptions about you based on your hair, for right or for wrong. And so I was really just struck seeing that picture of her with her curly hair and realizing that like there's things about myself, things that even maybe I still struggle with that I don't like. And I'm just looking at it in a vacuum. I'm just looking at it as like, okay, I wake up in the morning and my hair is a nightmare, or it's real frizzy today, or I feel like a mess today and I'm upset about it. Instead of realizing like this is part of the family story too. The traits that you have, they come from somewhere. It's not just you're showing up ex nihilo with these traits. And why have I never thought about it like this before? And I think there's an epidemic in our culture right now, especially for young women and even older women like me, where there's a lot of pressure to fit into a certain stereotype of beauty. And you can see that because things have changed over time. I remember when I went to a new school in 8th grade, I got made fun of because of my lips. It created such an issue for me. I cannot even tell you. I have always been sensitive about seeing my lips in pictures or from the side, just feeling really upset about it. And just, it was like a stupid thing. It was like 8th grade boys just laughing about how big my lips seemed. And they're not even that big, but it just stuck with me until I had my kids. And I think my kids are the most beautiful kids in the world, and like any good mom does. And they have my lips. And I realized that I can't hate things about myself and love it in them and ignore where it all came from. Like you can't do that. It's not how it works. Now having big lips is a thing. Girls are getting their lips injected, which is like it's hard for me to see that. People get tans, they relax their hair, they perm their hair, whatever. And that's not to say like I love changing things up, and I'm definitely not going to be walking around with my hair like this all the time. Like it will still be straight too, or in braids. But all to say is that I'm learning how much knowing your family's story, knowing your ancestry, knowing your roots, how that affects so much in your life. It affects so much more. It's not just like some people have a genealogy hobby and they're obsessed with their family tree. Like, no, people like us who are interested in this, we want to know more about who we are. Where did we come from? Who were the people who preceded us? And that changes things a little bit. And so I would love to hear if you're comfortable sharing, if there are things that you have struggled with, maybe it's not your hair, but maybe it's another trait. And then you saw a photo of a family member, an older ancestor that had that same trait. Did that change how you felt about yourself? Because it's definitely changing how I feel, I think, a little bit. I'm still working through it. Like, I'm not gonna come on here and tell you this is what you should do, this is how you should feel, because I honestly feel really vulnerable with my hair like this. Like, I almost cried coming on camera because I just feel, and I mean, I'm very self-conscious about it even now, which I can't stop touching it. Um, it just feels like kind of a peek behind the curtain. And so I'm working through that. And so I would love to just open up a space if you on this family journey have encountered something similar, maybe, you know, it's your nose, your like me, it's your lips, or your eye shape, or your skin color, or your hair color, or any of these things that we just scrutinize ourselves. And I think if we could stop, being the 6-year-old version of me in the mirror, just trying to make it work, trying to look a certain way, and stop looking at ourselves and look at these pictures of our family, of our ancestors, if we have them. Man, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And so I just wanted to, I guess, open up a little bit for you guys because I don't think I'm going to be getting my hair relaxed again anytime soon. And so this is going to be in rotation. It's going to get poofier, but that's okay. So all I have to say is let's just keep learning about ourselves and learning about our families and learning how to embrace all of who we are. We'll talk soon.